these isolated and small patches of woodland are a fortress in a war that's been raging for over 100 years. It's one of the few remaining strongholds for a small community of a species that used to thrive all over England. This is the story of how one species that has been pushed to the classification of near threatened by humans is surviving thanks to the isolation of places just like this. This is the British Red Squirrel. In 1870s Britain, this iconic species came under threat thanks to the introduction of the grey squirrel. Naturally evolved over millions of years to live in harmony with other British species, populations of red squirrels have been in decline since the introduction of the much heavier and more adaptable grey squirrel. Grey squirrels carry a disease that doesn't affect them but is deadly to reds. Then combining this with the decimation of their food source, deforestation and loss of habitat, it really seemed like there was no hope for the red squirrel. Without conservation efforts, it's predicted that red squirrels will be extinct in the UK within the next 10 years. Conservation efforts are being made to provide new habitat as well as control the population of grey squirrels within the UK. But it's still an issue that many aren't aware of, so raising awareness of the red squirrel population decline is incredibly important. It's up to us to undo the damage that's been done. And by doing so, the hope will be that we're able to save this species from the brink of extinction. Just a stone's throw away from where the red squirrels are isolating, another species has found sanctuary in isolation. Since the 1970s, dipper populations have declined. The dipper is the UK's only aquatic songbird. The acidification of these bodies of water through things like acid rain and airborne pollutants has meant that the dipper population has declined to such a level where it's now recognised as a species in amber status. These increased acid levels are reducing the abundance of invertebrates, which the dippers rely on as a food source. But despite this information, there's still currently no conservation efforts being made for the dippers. They're simply not recognised as an animal under threat. But I think a good question is, at what point do we draw a line? If the red squirrels have taught us anything, it's that action sooner rather than later can have a much more positive impact. With a species like the dipper that serve as an indicator for water quality, shouldn't we be concerned about the knock-on effects this could have within the rest of the environment? There's no overnight fix for these issues. However, by raising awareness and being aware of our own actions, we can work together to preserve these habitats before it becomes too late. If you'd like a look behind the scenes of this video, head on over to Wex's YouTube channel. In the behind the scenes video, I go in depth into my kit and how I use it.